No, I was swallowing because I forgot to bring water.
All right, 3, 2.
Isn't this great? Welcome to a special edition of Activate Live. I'm Tanya Hutchins, and this is a fun Friday. As you just saw and heard, we have a studio full of young machinists, and we'll talk to a couple of them later. We'll also talk to Bob Wood, who's Director of Communications here at the IAM, and then we'll meet Rhonda Rogers, the new Director of Women, Young Workers, and Human Rights Department. But that's not all. The 28 young machinists in our first studio audience will be commenting on the show on Facebook and live tweeting, and 2 of them will join us for a few moments to talk about young workers in unions like ours. But first up, the man we all call Woody. Bob Wood was a communications representative in the Southern Territory who came out of Wichita, Kansas. And until January, Bob is now the one who came up with the idea for this show. He is our Director of Communications. That's what's happened in January. So Bob, what were you thinking? Just kidding, just kidding.
I was thinking when we came in, I wanted to make our department more effective. And that was the what I asked all of the members of our department. We've got a great department. We have a lot of talent here. But, you know, I came out of the shop. I was a tool and die maker at Local Lodge 774, a little shout out, District 70 in Wichita, Kansas. And I worked at Cessna Aircraft. And it's important that we communicate with our membership and to do it the right way. And so, you know, we changed the IAM Journal that came out earlier in the spring. We're having a new one that we're working on right now, finishing editing, that'll be out before November 1st at everybody's mailbox. But we also, you know, this is how people, our membership communicates now. And the live streaming is such a great tool. And I have such a great group of folks here. It was easy to see who needed to host our show. Tanya, you've been with this department since 2011, is that right?
That's right, December 2011.
And you are a card-carrying member of 2 unions. Tell us what you did before you came to the IAM.
Well, for about 15 years, I was an anchor and a reporter in Columbus, Ohio. I did some traffic in Baltimore and in Washington, D.C. And then I found out about this great opportunity to come to the Machinists Union to be a backpack journalist. But in my freelance work, doing traffic reporting and also some of the news reporting, I ended up joining the Screen Actors Guild, which merged with the American Federation of Television Radio Artists, which is now known as SAG-AFTRA. So their motto is one union, with the 2 unions coming together. And the unions had to merge in order to survive, you know, in today's climate. So, but I was happy to join another union organization.
So we found this was the perfect thing, and so we started working towards this live video thing. We've been doing videos for a long time, but the live thing and the Facebook, the social media is such an important way that we communicate now, and it's a way we needed to go. And this hasn't been easy. Doing a live show is the equipment needed, getting used to that, getting used to buggy software. And doing this, we've been doing it for a few weeks now, and we're starting to get a bit of the hang of it. But we have our folks from the Young Machinist class here from our Whippensinger Training Center down in Hollywood, Maryland, about an hour south of here. And we have classes there every week. You'll be talking about that later. But we thought it would be really fun to have a live studio audience. How do you guys enjoy it, huh? Just thought this would be a great way, and we're looking at new ways of using this. We have this technology now, and we're going to think of crazy, out-of-the-box things to do that our members will be interested in. This show is going to be informative. You know, a lot of things people, even in our unions, sometimes don't know a lot about unions, but this show, we can educate people, have fun with people, show you interesting things that we're doing. You know, we're working with Uber drivers. We now have organized, you know, we were the ones, this union was the ones that got Uber to have a tipping piece on their app so drivers could easily be tipped, and that's important. You know, the technology is changing, and we're going to change with it. We also, you know, organized lobster boat captains, and we have a lobster union. We're selling live union lobster now. Well, live lobster from the ocean to your table, all union. It'll be delivered to your door, union.
I think the lobster would be union. That's okay.
Yeah,
lobster, yeah.
So it's great stuff. We're doing great stuff, and we just need to let everybody know about it. So that's what this is about, and I'm really proud of this, and this show is going to be a great thing for this union.
Let me just ask you one thing. A few months ago, we had a communications conference, and the department came up with a term called voice activation. What is that?
You know, that's the idea that all of our members, our communicators, can help us push out and share with their friends.
Obviously have been seeing our behind the scenes look at the studio here at headquarters. These are young machinists from the United States. Young is a relative term though, right? Because I'm 50 years young and I feel young. So a lot of it has to do with your mindset. But this is the future of our union and the organized labor movement. And joining us now is Rhonda Rogers, who is the director of the Women, Young Workers, and Human Rights Department. And Rhonda has been active as a union member for years. How's it going, Rhonda?
Good, good. I like how she stresses years.
Well, you have a nice long history of being active in the union. How long now have you been in your new position?
Oh my goodness, since August 1st.
Okay, so that's
not very long.
Relatively new. What are some of the goals for your department?
Well, we started off with the Young Machinists. I had never seen this program. And I told them on the first day, we're going to be learning together. I had a great time. I couldn't have asked for a better class to begin with. These guys are phenomenal, so I'd like to give you a hand.
Now, what is the name of the program? It's the Young Worker Strategy Program?
That's exactly what it's called, yes. And the purpose of the program is to engage young workers, because you guys are the future of our union, and we need to recognize that, and we need to give you the tools to grow our union, because that's where it is. Listening to some of their ideas is just phenomenal. The way that they think outside the box and all of that, we really, as an older machinist union member, we really need to listen to you a little bit more. But that's what the class is all about, is bringing them together to strategize on how do they build a committee of young workers, get young workers involved within their unions. And also, many of them recognize that they also need to reach out to some of us older folks that maybe got a little apathetic or tired along the way. And so, you know, I thought that was great. I thought that was great that they want to include some of us old folks too.
It can be energizing. Just being around young people can be energizing.
It is for me. It is for me. I forget that I'm over 50.
That's okay. Yeah. I just joined your club. So we have actually a class photo that we can put up on the screen showing this week's class of young machinists who were at the William W. Wimpesinger Education and Technology Center. It's down in Hollywood, Maryland. That's our training center. And there's the class right there. Everyone in that class is in this audience right now, so you'll get to meet some of them. They're from all across the United States. We didn't have any this time from Canada.
No, we have in the past, but we didn't have any this time.
So we have young machinists across North America. And the cool thing is I'm wearing the Young Machinist t-shirt right now, but the best part about the t-shirt is the back of it. So I'm going to hold it up. This is, there we go. Look at that. Solidarity, that's what it's all about. I almost punched Rhonda, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's a great shirt. A lot of them have it on. This is why I'm wearing this Young Machinist shirt right now. Rhonda, before you go though, tell us a little bit about some of the other classes and opportunities that are available at the Whippusinger Center.
Well, that's one of the things that I absolutely love about the Machinists Union is that they value education. Our international president and the international presidents before him value that. The Whippusinger Center is the only active training school that brings union members in and trains them in the United States. We have, and I hope to see some of our young machinists in this class, the next class of leadership. We have 4 levels of leadership class that prepare all of our union members, anyone that can come to that class, that prepare them to deal with a variety of things, human rights, how to be an effective union steward. So we also talk a little bit about the history of the labor movement, which a lot of folks don't know. So
you have Leadership 1.
Leadership 2.
Leadership 2.
Advanced Leadership. And then Train the Trainer. And what Train the Trainer does is it takes all those skills that you learned in the other 3 programs and then gives you the tools so that you can take that back and do an education session maybe at a union meeting or even a group session you know, within your workplace, you know, where you're just talking to a group of people and saying, hey, I learned this and the company can't do this to you, or you have these rights. So it's a great program. We also have organizing program, which I dearly love.
And we have a new way of organizing now. We're trying to change the way we organize and adapt, not only to new technologies, but a new way of communicating.
Exactly.
So that's our top priority is organizing.
Yeah.
And now my laptop just started beeping because it's freaking out. So I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on. You hear that beep?
I hear it. I was just going to say $25. What do you
Okay, that's what you get. I brought an older laptop up here, so that's what happened. So I'm going to turn it back on, so you might hear something when it comes back on.
Okay.
But the computer was clapping for you.
50?
$50. Let me see what I have here. But now the Whippusinger Center isn't the only educational opportunity that we have.
No.
We have also had a very good relationship with Empire State College.
Yes, yes. So our director at the Whippusinger Center also values education, as does the rest of our leadership. And so he worked, his name is Chris Wagner, but Chris worked very hard with some help from me and Elaine Poland at the Whippusinger Center to form a partnership with Empire State College, which is part of the State Universities of New York. So our members can actually use classes that they take at the Whippusinger Center. They can use military training, apprenticeship training, and life experience to combine those classes with a degree program at Empire State College that will allow them to get an associate or a bachelor's degree. And then once they get that degree, there's also a master's degree program in labor studies. It's phenomenal. It's a very reputable school. We just entered into that partnership a couple of years ago, and we had our first graduating class in June, and I believe there were 15 people, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was right around 15 of our members now have bachelor's degrees.
That is great.
Yes,
great.
Yes, and some of them never thought that that would happen. Some of them came in with absolutely no college experience whatsoever. Others came in with quite a bit of college experience, but they all came out with degrees. And some of those graduates are now in the master's degree program.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And I think even more people will start to take advantage of that.
Yes.
And there is another partnership that we just began with Eastern Gateway Community College. Tell us about that.
Yes, I think that's going to be a phenomenal program, and I think it'll work really well with the Empire State College program, because this program, actually, it's free.
That's right. We have our little handouts, and you can see up on the screen right there this free college benefit. That's the website, freecollege.goiam.org, or the phone number is 888-590-9009. This is unbelievable, but
It
it's
is.
true.
Yes, and you can earn an associate degree there. So if you have nothing, you can get your first 2 years of college free. There's a catch. There's a catch. You have to be a union member.
Yes.
You have to be a union member. You have to pay union dues. The other thing that's really great about this program is if you are a dues-paying union member, your family can also enroll.
That's key.
So, yes,
And
it's all online. It's all online. And then once you finish that program, then you can go on to Empire State, maybe get your bachelor's degree or your master's degree. But yes.
I checked with Jim Reed the other day, our Director of Safety and Health and in charge of apprenticeships and CREST, and he was saying that so far I think something like nearly 70 people had already enrolled, but they got inquiries from more than 400 people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is really taking off.
Right, and this just rolled out within what, the last month maybe? So I think it's going to be a great program. But it just shows people that, you know, maybe are looking at what's in it for me kind of a thing. 2 years of free college is what's in it for you if you're a union member.
That's a great union benefit.
Yes, and this is an accredited school. So it's not some, you know, it's not
Right.
some fly-by-night school or whatever you want to call it. It is a fully accredited school. The degree will transfer to any other accredited college in the U.S.
And any of your relatives, whether it be
Yes.
children, grandchildren, siblings, they basically just have to have the union member's card number.
Right. Yeah, your membership number.
Yeah, so that is just something that people are still getting over with, you know. The question they get is this
Right.
real? And yes, it is real. So a lot of our union members and family members are starting to take advantage of
Right.
that. And we're handing out cards with information on it. You know, so some of the classes that are down at the Wimbesinger Center, to people that visit headquarters with the information, and it's on our website, as we said, freecollege.goiam.org.
Right. We've just rolled this into our, we typically do a presentation each week at the Wimbesinger Center to let our members that come there know what's going on with college and all of that. And so we've rolled this program in. We're just very excited about it.
So we're a union that is very concerned
Yes.
and consistent and persistent about education.
Yes, and I think that's wonderful because I think the more members that we have that understand what unions are about, I think the stronger we are. And right now, we really need for people to understand the good side of unions, I guess, for lack of a better word, because the media a lot of times doesn't show that side. I mean, most of the time, they don't show that side. And so I think that's very important.
I think the thing that I enjoyed the most when I first joined a union was the fact that I did have a voice on the job. Whenever there were scheduling issues, you know, I worked in one place where one segment of workers was working, you know, 5 days a week and they had 2 days off, and then there was another segment of workers who would work 10 days in a row, and then they would have 4 days off. And they said it was only going to happen every 6 weeks, but we went and looked at the schedule and they were doing it every 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we had no recourse on the non-union side, but the union workers, they didn't have to go through that. They had consistent
That's right.
scheduling with time off with their families. So I love the fact that I have a voice as a union member and a way to speak to management through my union.
No, I agree. I agree. That's one of the reasons that I got involved because I worked in a lot of non-union places prior to my first union job. There's a difference. There is no one that can ever convince me there's not. There's a difference. The thing is we have to use our voice.
And sometimes it just takes a conversation
Yes.
in a break room with somebody. I remember I spoke to a woman a few years ago, and she told me that I was the first person that told her the benefits of union membership.
Right.
When I told her how it had helped me and how it can help her. And she had actually been in the union for a while, but nobody had sat down to explain to her the benefits. So sometimes it's just a simple conversation before work, after work, in the break room to
Right.
explain it.
Right. And that's one of the things that I'd like to point out about this group of young machinists. They realize that, you know, a lot, they're young. So when you hire into a workplace, typically you're young. And so the first experiences you have are with the boss or with the company. They're giving you a job, they're giving you benefits, they're giving you all of these things. And that's what people think when they're hired in. And our young machinists realize and pointed it out that we need to get in there when they first come in as young machinists and let them know that, no, the company didn't give you any of that. It was fought for by people before us that were union members, and we continue to fight for it as union members now.
So we do our own orientation.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rhonda, for stopping by.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to young machinists out there if they weren't able to come here to this week's program?
Well, I'd like to say two things. To those that couldn't come, that are watching this program, talk to your leadership. Talk to your leadership and see if you can come out here. And to those that just came through this program, go back and take this back. I know you're excited, and I know that you're planning on doing that. We'll follow up with you from time to time. So jump on those phone calls when we email you, and continue to network with each other and build this union.
Great.
So, and thank you for the opportunity to let me work with you this week.
Thank you so much. I am going to give you this Young Machinist shirt that we love so much.
Awesome.
To take down to back to the audience
I will.
with you.
Okay.
And we're actually going to swap chairs right now because we have another guest coming up.
Great.
And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the
Can I
next
get
guest. Yeah, you can get up. It's okay. So Rhonda's going to... We are so thankful for Rhonda and all of the work that she does for young workers and women and human and civil rights. And our next guest actually hails from the Western Territory, Seattle to be exact. Jennifer Cesmat comes out of Local 751C, and she works at Boeing. Did I say your name right, Jennifer?
Yes, you did.
That's great. I kept trying to decide between Cesmat and Cesmat. I'm sure people butcher it all the time, but I'm glad it came out correctly. So thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
How has your week been so far?
It's been a blast. Just getting to meet people from all over the country, coming from different unions, talking about each of our own experiences and how we got involved. It's just been awesome.
What are some of the topics that you covered in class?
We covered a lot in class.
Is there anything that stood out to you that really got through to you?
Well, earlier this week we actually had some students come from Job Corps, and they were telling us about their experiences coming into the union and wanting to learn more about it, and they're going to be actually getting trades jobs, and just talking to us and our experiences, and we were kind of educating them on unions in general, and yeah, just talking about experiences together.
So it was almost like you were mentoring them,
Yeah.
informally, but that helps so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So you represent the next generation for me, they represent the next generation for you.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to be able to pass down that knowledge about unions?
It was awesome. I've been very fortunate that I've had a lot of mentorship within my own union. My brother was actually a union steward and started working at Boeing before I did. So he kind of was able to educate me just as I was coming in. So just being able to kind of pass that knowledge along was really awesome.
I think that really does make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Are you interested in mentoring? I mean, it seems like you had a really good experience with the Job Corps.
Absolutely. Going back to work and just talking to other young workers and showing them different ways that they can get involved, and just all the different avenues that you can take within the union, and getting involved and taking your passion and being able to explore that within the union.
Now you're pretty active. What keeps you active in your union?
Honestly, for me, originally I got involved with the union because I saw the lack of youth that were getting involved. In my particular local, there's a huge age divide. There's a lot of older individuals who are involved, but not a lot of young people, and especially not a lot of females. So for me, just, wanting to just be a young person and having a voice with all of these older individuals and kind of learning from them in order to just be able to talk to other young people and get them involved as well.
And tell us a little bit about you and your job. What do you do?
So my job currently, I work graveyard, third shift, and I'm a tool maker. So we work production assist at night, and we work really closely with the crane operators, and we make that entire line pulse every night, moving airplanes essentially.
That is great.
Mm-hmm.
That is just great to see that you're making something that's millions of people are using around the world.
It's very cool. It's actually a very interesting job.
Do you have a message for any young machinists that weren't able to make it to class this week about what to expect? Or
honestly, just educating yourself and learning about why unions are so important, and just starting to talk to people who are already involved and finding that mentorship in somebody. Go to a union meeting, that's the first step, you know. Try to talk to people and yeah, just get involved. It starts with us, so if we don't take that initiative to get involved, the labor movement will essentially die.
And for older workers and older staff, what advice do you have for us, the older union members, on how to reach younger members? Like if they have a local where there aren't a lot of young people coming to meetings, what should they do to try to reach the younger members?
Just talk to them honestly, and the education portion, once again, is very important. Educating them if they're, you know, not really understanding now why unions are so important, tell them why they're so important, and tell them about things that, you know, maybe the older generation has fought for us, that we just kind of got to walk into and experience and take for granted, essentially.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're glad you stopped by.
Absolutely.
You know, every time we have somebody from far away, we love it that you've come all the way to the East Coast. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Cesmat she works at Boeing in Seattle, and she's from Local 751C. So we're going to play musical chairs a little bit and swap it up again. Keith Dixon is also here this week. He's from the San Francisco area. And Keith, you look way younger than you are. So
you're kind.
I'm being kind because, you know what, like I said, being young, come closer, I'm not going to bite. So, you know, just being a union member, and sometimes it's a state of mind. There's some people you don't know how old or how young they are when you're working with them, but I think the message that we get through to them is so important. But first, starting out, tell us where you work and what you do.
I work in San Francisco, California, and I am a support services specialist working in the administrative office of my agency, this U.S. Department of HUD, and I've been there for 28 years, November 5th.
So you're a NFFE Federal Lodge, right?
Correct.
That's right. So how did you first get involved with becoming active in the union?
It was slow coming. I'd say the grand portion of my years at HUD, I was not a contributing member, but I gradually start seeing the value in his presence, and you know, there's not many tools, not many resources that employees have that provide support, and you know, we as staff, you know, we need every tool that's available, and so I want to embellish that and make a contribution to that.
So did you start noticing certain things that could be improved upon at work? And
absolutely. And we just need every tool that's available. Management isn't really set up to watch out for its staff the way that we would probably think that it should. And so through the union, it offers that resource. And without it, it would show up in all the worst ways.
So you have your union steward. You have the grievance process that you go through if need be. How did your life change once you realized the value and your outlook?
Well, just, really got in my crosshairs and started communicating with members of the union and looking at, exactly what it does and how it interacts with management in the office, and just trying to dig deeper into how it works, how it functions.
Now, you spent a whole week at the Whipplesinger Center in Hollywood, Maryland, training on young worker strategy. What do you think are some good ideas to try to attract younger members to becoming active and involved in the Machinists Union?
Unions should just be open, open to and compelled to ensure that the union reflects all the diversity of its staff that it serves. And you can reach out through mentorship, maybe coupling that with succession plans for the union so that its young members can actively get involved with all of the members that are in place. And they can get that on-the-job training firsthand and really see and witness what the union can do. And I think that would offer like a real value.
Great, excellent. And I'm sure you see young people come in starting out, and you can remember back to when you first started.
Oh yeah.
And some of the questions that were in your mind.
Yeah, it was. There can be so much going on, when you're young. It's not very clear at all. You're just in it trying to make your way, and it's good to have people and resources to reach out, to young people, because they or even myself, when I was first in, when I was 19, you don't really know how and who to reach out to, and if there's someone, a friendly face, offers that kind of assistance, it'd be major.
Great. Anything else that you'd like to send a message to young machinists who were not able to be here this week?
Get here. Find a way to get here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Get here. There's a song called that, isn't there? All right. Thanks, Keith. Thanks so much. Thank you. Okay, all of that applause, if you're just joining us, is our studio audience. This is the first time we've had a wonderful studio audience. And we have about 28 young machinists from across the United States, all over. And they've been live tweeting and commenting on our Facebook post and hopefully sharing it as well. So we'd like to give a shout out to all of the young machinists across the United States and Canada who are actively involved in the IAM, NFFE, TCU. We want to thank the young machinists for your hard work, your leadership, and your feedback as well. And I'm going to check my machine. I'm going to check my computer before we go to see if it came back on, because it was freaking out a little bit. But I'm actually going to log in and see if we can see any comments here. And wow, my password failed. 1 minute, it's logging in. And we're hoping that any questions that you have for the young machinists, you can go ahead and ask them in the comments section on Facebook. You can hit the reply button on Twitter to our feed to ask any questions. And if we can't do it during the show, after the show, we'll try to answer those questions as well. And tell us where you're watching from. You can tell us which territory you're in, what your local is or your district. And I'm getting a note. Here we go. That's so nice. Bob Wood just handed me his computer, his phone, so I can talk. Yes, I can. So I'm actually going to see if I can read the comments that are right on here. I guess I have to hit play first, but it's muted, right? Excellent. So here we go. I got it. We're getting lots of comments, so this is wonderful. And this is our studio audience, as you can see. Okay, Janice Lair says, I've been to this wonderful education center 7 times, and she can't say enough good things about it. Education is key. We have Osmel Toledo saying, have to agree with Brother Kyle, the young members are our future leaders. So go ahead and comment right now on this live feed that you're watching, whether it's on Twitter, you can hit the reply button, or on Facebook itself. Just comment, and some of the young machinists will comment right back with you. Tony Worth says, great program. He was happy to hear about the free college. Also, let's see. I'm just glad to see so many people. Kyle Kraus, that's the one that said, good-looking group of young machinists. So we're just glad that we're able to interact with you in a new way here. And we hope that you'll join us again. Our regular time for this program is usually Wednesday at 3 p.m. So we will see you this coming Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And on our next program, we're actually going to talk about safety and workplace violence and how you can make a difference, because it is more common than you think. So join us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can see all of the addresses on your screen. Twitter, it's at Machinists Union. Facebook, the page is called Machinists Union. It has a little gray check mark next to it. And on YouTube, our page is called Machinists Union, but you could reach it through youtube.com/IAMAW Grand Lodge. You can also reach it through youtube.com/Machinist News. And our website has more information for you if you're just looking for information about the Machinists Union. Go to goiam.org. That's goiam.org. And we want to give one more look to our young machinists in the studio. Thanks for being here.